All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBook It podcast. Let's start the show.
That was weird. Something happened on my laptop. But welcome to another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog. And actually, I hate to break it to you, what I just saw on my laptop, it was an advertisement, and then it turned into a sports video, and it was your Chicago Bulls getting dunked on in that. And I know you sent a group chat of that picture.
He has to go. He has to go.
I kid you not, that was the video that just popped up when as I'm reading the Bleacher Report Monday Night Raw analysis. So I apologize. But everyone, welcome to another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog. I am your host, Coach, and I am joined once again by the best producer in the group and the coach of one UIS football team in college football, 26, going to lead the Prairie Stars to a national championship. He is Big Daddy C.
What's going on, Coach, man? I'm glad to be back on the Monday show. Last week was pretty hectic, but yeah. Let's get the show on the road.
All right, sounds good. So we kick off Monday Night Raw in Birmingham, Alabama, with Naomi coming out, touting that new Women's World Championship and just talking her talk, saying that y'all weren't feeling the glow, but now y'all feel me now, which I thought was awesome. She's really embracing that heel persona. She talked about the jump from SmackDown to Raw, telling Bianca, I didn't betray you, I just outgrew you, and then just gave a rundown of how much she hates Jade Cargill, warning the locker room, proceed with caution, which I like that new catchphrase that she has. Well, as she said that, Rhea Ripley comes out. Ripley comes out and says that Naomi is now on her list and that you don't want to be on Rhea's list. But then Io Sky comes out and she basically tells Rhea, get to the back of the line because I need my rematch against Naomi. And right before things were going to get chaotic, Adam Pearce comes out. He congratulates Naomi on the win, talks about how Rhea and Io stole the show last night at Evolution, and he said there's only one thing that can solve this, and at SummerSlam, it'll be a triple threat match for the title between Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. And I think that is the best thing because with it being a triple threat, Naomi can really embrace the heel side and use some weapons in this match that can save Rhea and Io from being pinned clean, while also making Naomi looking dangerous. C, what are your thoughts about this opening segment and the match set for SummerSlam?
I mean, this is what you expected it to be. Obviously, someone catches in on two, makes it a triple threat match. Both combatants, fighting hard, and then someone just comes in out of nowhere and steals it just from steals the championship from up under them. And next night, usually the aftermath is, both competitors, original competitors of the match, come out there, spewing they shit, and then it's like, hey, I want another shot, and then triple threat match. It is what it is. So I'm excited happy for Naomi. Obviously she's been, champion before. But I think this one has a different feel because it's no longer a Raw or a SmackDown women's champion, but still it's part of her accolades. So she's had her moments where she's been the top champion of the on her respective brands women's division. And so I'm glad that she's getting her opportunity yet again. It was funny because someone said yesterday, um, here we go with the bloodline treatment strikes again. I'm like, yeah, she's part of the bloodline technically through marriage, but come on, guys, like she's made her way. She's made her way before. She's done a lot,
Mm-hmm.
away without the help of her husband and the rest of her family. So, regardless of how much Rikishi, bitches and complains about every little thing that happens with his sons or anybody else that's a part of the family. But I was cool with it. Another triple threat with Rhea and Io. Yeah, WrestleMania already, and here we are again with SummerSlam. But um, you know, I think Naomi will retain. There's no way
Mm-hmm.
she's losing that championship. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, so after that segment, we go into our first match of the night, which is the Kabuki Warriors versus the Judgment Day in a women's tag team match. And, it wasn't too bad. It was a pretty straightforward match. And then Dominic Mysterio provided a distraction. He was on the receiving end of a shot from Asuka, who was then rolled up by Perez for the win. And it just it killed the momentum of how Perez and Rodriguez looked last night, and then having Dom get involved. I don't know, it just didn't sit well with me because you made them look so strong last night in a 4-woman tag team match, and they won, and now you're saying that they need Dominic for interference to win this one. So I don't like that. I don't like that kind of booking right there, especially after last night. I know it's typical heel stuff, but it kind of ruined the match for me in that case. But I really do like seeing this rivalry with the Kabuki Warriors. I think they are a formidable opponent in the women's tag team division and will eventually take the titles off of the Judgment Day when that time comes. What do you think, C?
I want to say yeah, I agree that this is a good new rivalry as well. It's glad to see. I'm glad to see Asuka back. You don't really need to have her in the main world title picture. I think establishing her with Kairi Sane, who they've been besties basically since the old NXT days. I know Kairi had to leave, during the pandemic, go back home for a little bit, but see her back, her and Asuka always had that chemistry together, and the fact that they're back, they've already been tag team champions, as part of the DC. Yeah. Um, but yeah, just seeing them on their own back as the Kabuki Warriors is good. Like I definitely see them winning the championships down the line. I think they'll win at SummerSlam. I think we're on a collision course for that matchup there. Um, but yeah, in terms of the interference part of it, I do agree. You don't need to always have someone from the faction interfere. I feel like, especially when it comes to the women, I feel like you should be able to let them stand on their own. They shouldn't need interference in terms of Judgment Day. And I think Raquel, being the powerful woman that she is, like having this powerhouse type of like skill set, and couple that with Roxanne being witty and fast paced, technical. I definitely think they go hand in hand a lot better than honestly a lot better than Liv and Raquel. I think Roxanne's skill set is better. So I think they can stand on their own without needing interference from Dom or Finn or JD McGunna. But as we'll touch on, speaking of those two, Finn and McGunna, I think we got a little situation on our hands here because they won the championships last week, or we got 2 weeks ago from off the New Day, and they got cheered as if they were faces.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was just the fact that people got tired of the New Day, or they just don't fuck with the New Day all together because of what they did to Big E, or it's just I don't know. Like I don't know what to expect. I honestly think it was more so of people just don't fuck with the New Day anymore because of what they did to Big E. I think that's more so than JD and Finn being faces now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if something did happen, like I said, I didn't catch up fully yet. So a lot of the stuff that we talking about, I'm finding out in real time. I mean, I do know about Roman coming back, but yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Well, I want to touch on what you said with JD and Finn getting cheered. It probably was the fact that it was the New Day getting rid of the New Day's title run, but also everyone's going to cheer for Finn no matter what. Even when he's a heel, they're still going to love him. They'll boo just because he's in character, but knowing that they still love him. And I think ever since JD McDonough had that injury scare where he hit his head on the announce table,
still finished the match.
Still finished the match. There's a respect level that the fans are giving him, and they are actually really more investing in him because
it's All-Star Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, there's so much that's been happening. I totally forgot about All-Star Weekend. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, because I just got the alert. Cal Raleigh won the home run derby.
I'm just gonna say this: that home run derby was rigged because Brent Roker got screwed. It should have been a swing off between him and Cal Raleigh, but they did it based on distance, and it went down to 0.1 feet, like 0.1 feet.
Wait, so they were tied?
Yeah. And
they went based on distance, total distance? That's crazy.
Cal Raleigh hit 471.6 feet. Roker hit 471.5.
Is it the first time that's ever happened where they decided it that way?
Yep.
Oh man.
Okay. And it's bullcrap.
Wow.
Brent Roker got screwed.
Oh man, I gotta go back and look at the highlights. Oh man, that's crazy.
So I stopped watching after that. I was like, "Oh, this is so stupid."
Sorry, I just happened to look at my phone. I just saw that. I'm like, home run derby. I'm like, dang, we at the All-Star break. Yeah, go ahead, Coach. My bad.
All right. Well, we get to our next match, which is a old school style match we have not seen in quite some time, or maybe we have. I don't know. It's just not fresh in my memory. But it's a 2 out of 3 falls match between Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, with the winner going on to face Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. And this match started out weirdly for me because the first pinfall was Bayley basically just slapping Lyra in the face and then rolling her up for a pin. And then Lyra basically did almost the exact same thing for a roll-up and a win. So right away, we already get a one-on. Each person gets a near fall, and I'm thinking, or gets a fall count, and I'm thinking, okay, this is they're not going to care for this match. It's just going to go real quick because that is a weird way to do it.
it's
Well,
not heated. It's not a heated enough match. It's not a heated enough rivalry for it to go the full typical distance for a 2 out of 3 falls match.
correct. But what they did with that tie, and I give Corey Graves credit because he intensified the matter, saying this is sudden death now. We're in overtime of this 2 out of 3 falls match, and these women delivered a great style of a match at the end there. Great near falls, both kicking out of finishers once or twice. And then it actually was when Bayley had Lyra in a crossface. Lyra was trying to get to the ropes. Bayley then kicked off the ropes and tried to roll back Lyra into a crossface, only for Lyra to counter into her finishing move, Nightwing, and pinned Bayley for the victory and the final fall. So we are getting Lyra versus Becky 3 at SummerSlam. And I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting them to go this route. I really thought we were going to get Bayley versus Becky. And I like it. And one thing I'm noticing in the character of Lyra, she is starting to get some heelish tendencies.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if a heel turn from her is coming. And even the way Bayley's been talking lately, it could signify a heel turn for her. So you have some options here. But either way, great match overall. And then at the end of the match, Becky came out and taunted in front of Lyra, and they did some trash talking. But either way, Lyra versus Becky 3 at SummerSlam for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. See, what'd you think?
It's good to see 3 out of falls return. It's always been pretty solid way to help intensify a rivalry. But I think this is ultimately it. The end game was going to be Lyra and Becky going at it when you consider their, the whole mentor student type of situation there. Lyra looked up to Becky, as we all know. They're both Irish, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just a lot of similarities there, and so I feel like they both split. They both split wins. So we got to get the grudge match. However, it's SummerSlam. It cannot be a regular match. It cannot be a regular match. Whenever it's a grudge match, it has to be something big. My guess, since we got 2 nights, each show is typical in this regard. Where SummerSlam shows are usually about 4 hours, maybe 5, depending on what they decide to do. I don't know if it's ever been done before, but I think we're about due for it.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
I gotta look and see if it's been done before, but if it has been, it's been almost what had to be at least a decade, maybe 2 decades plus. Iron Woman match.
Yeah.
60 minutes. 60 minutes. Actually, you know what? The last time we did have it, it happened to be, ironically enough, Bayley and Sasha Banks. If anyone
NXT
remembers
takeover.
that, yep, the takeover heard around the world. They arguably the best women's match in the history of NXT. And that match propelled, I think that helped propel both of those two. Like, I think it wasn't that far off before they hit the main roster. Because Bayley had beat Sasha, and I think that very next night, if not the week after, that's when the women's revolution officially started. And then when we got Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky debuted on Raw. And so that was after that. I believe that was after that takeover match. between Bailey and Sasha Banks. So I see that happening again. And you got two former NXT women, NXT alum, well, two NXT alums. Both are former NXT Women's Champions in their own right. They both helped set the standard, for women's wrestling and NXT. Bailey, Becky being one of those the four horsewomen, and then you got Lyra coming off her run not too long ago, a very successful run, I might add. And so, what better way to do a callback to the Iron Woman match, 60 minutes. Do it at SummerSlam. It's been a while. So you want the best of the best. We're trying to see who's better than who. This is the way to do it. 60 minutes. Y'all gonna have the time. You got two shows now for SummerSlam. This is one of the reasons you could have those 2 nights, to have a match like this. 1 hour. Get a woman 1 hour to put on a hell of a banger. 2 Irish women. 60 minutes. Give it to us, Trips. Give it to us. Give us the 60 minutes between Lyra and Becky. We need it. All right. And so that's my thoughts on the situation there. Sorry, I went on a long diatribe, but I've been thinking about this. I was like, it's been too long since we had just the Iron Man match in general, but it'd be better if we had an Iron Woman match. So 60 minutes. Let's go.
Oh man, you read my mind right there. That I am hoping that happens. And doing it at MetLife Stadium, I mean, there are so many possibilities you can go with it. I mean, hell, you could even pre-tape some of the stuff. Like, nobody's going to care because it's still, like,
now,
if you're worried about...
If they don't do that, the backup plan should be 3 stages of hell. I mean, it's still technically 2 out of 3 falls, really, but 3 stages of hell is the heated rivalry. That's another one of those like culmination type matches where it's the end all be all. 3 stages of hell. All 3 matches are different in their own right. You got, one is more likely going to be a regular match, and the second match, no disqualification or something like that. And the third match could be like, last man standing or Hell in a Cell steel cage match. And so that way, you ain't got to worry about interferences and all that other BS. But yeah, there's some options to throw out there. It just can't be a regular match anymore, though. Not for SummerSlam. No,
that's a great point right there.
Yep.
All right, we move on to our next match, and it is Nikki Bella making her first singles match appearance on Raw since October 28th.
Boo.
I'm going to make sure I'm reading this right. Yes. First singles match since the first Evolution, October 28th, 2018. So she is back, and she looked really rusty. And Chelsea Green was her opponent. I got to give props to Chelsea Green because she carried that match, and I think it speaks volumes that is what the higher-ups of WWE think of Chelsea Green, that they trust her to kind of carry this match with a Hall of Famer who is obviously dealing with the ring rust. And it was a sloppy match if you're just looking at the match, but when you're looking at kind of the bigger picture, it's a bravo for Chelsea Green. Either way, Nikki Bella got the victory. Chelsea and her secret Hervis, Piper Niven and Alba Fire, then came in to attack Bella after the match, only for Stephanie Vicaire to come out and save Nikki Bella, and more than likely leading to a tag match between Bella and with the team of Stephanie and Nikki versus Chelsea and probably Piper Niven, unless they make it a 6-woman tag match, but I don't know who would. Well, Brie Bella. That would be a surprise entrant or however. But I mean, this match was what it was. Nothing to go home about. It was cool to see Nikki Bella back in a Monday Night Raw ring, but man, she did not look the best. See what you think.
Saw a promo package for Nikki Bella. Basically, she was talking about how, you know, I think we talked about it on the pod yesterday. She's talking about how she's trying to find a purpose and all this other stuff, and finding that would be in the ring. Let's cut the bullshit. She needs money. I heard about the little situation, the whole thing with the guy that she split up with, and she owes him money, and so yeah, I can't knock the hustle. She had to come back. She needs the money. But outside of that, I'm really not trying to see her. But it's happening, so what can you do? In terms of Stephanie Vaquer, why are they doing this to her? Why are they involving her with this BS? Like, no disrespect to Chelsea Green and Secret Hervis. Like, it has nothing to do with them. It's just, why are they sticking Stephanie Vaquer into the Bella's BS? Like, she just won this Battle Royal match so she can get a championship opportunity at SummerSlam.
Clash in Paris.
Clash of Paris, yes. Clash of Paris. So I guess in a way they need her to do something. But this got a million different things to do, didn't do this. And so, like, come on, man. I don't want Stephanie to be, to be in. I don't need her around this toxicity, like I don't need her around this crap, man. Like, but I guess they look at Brie Bella as somebody that Stephanie can learn from potentially, and I don't know what much she can learn. Stephanie's miles better than Nikki Bella ever would dream of being in the ring. But
I agree.
yeah. But yeah, that's all the thoughts I got, man. Yeah. So I've been over Nikki Bella. I'm done. I've been done since the Authority era. I've been done.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that era.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we get to our next segment, which is a backstage segment, and it involves Adam Pearson trying to get some things set up trying to get the card set up for SummerSlam. He first talks to the New Day, basically informing them that they're going to have to earn their rematch, and didn't go into specifics, but it looks like they're going to have a number one contenders match next week on Raw to determine who will battle the Judgment Day at SummerSlam for the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Judgment Day, he actually catches them and congratulates Raquel and Roxanne, informs Finn and JD about kind of what he wants to do with the tag team titles, which they're all for. And then he goes to Dom and says, "Dom, I thought you weren't medically cleared." And Dom whips out his doctor's note, to which Adam Pearce says, "Well, you didn't look like it when you weren't out there to help out Roxanne and Raquel."
Mm-hmm.
And Dom gets all flustered and he says, "So you are going to get reevaluated next week by the medical staff, and if you get cleared, you are defending your Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles at SummerSlam." To which the crowd went wild. Dom is all flustered, and we cut to just to the side of Dom. You see AJ Styles on his knees praying and thanking God, and praying. You could hear him say, "God, please let Dom be healthy. Please let Dom be healthy." To which Dom said, which AJ gives him the "I'm watching you" stare again, and Dom goes, "No, stop that." And then he starts praying to God and saying, "God, please don't let AJ hurt me. Please don't let AJ hurt me." And then back to AJ. AJ goes, "Don't listen to him, God. Make sure he's healthy." It was
Oh
brilliant.
man, I gotta go back and see this. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Oh, that was worthy of being brought up tonight because I loved it. I love the segment there. I love this
oh,
rivalry in general with
oh
AJ and
man,
Dom. They are doing a great job building this up while he recovers from his injury.
yeah,
Which he actually did have a legit injury, but I think
yeah,
it wasn't as severe as
yeah. They're just
they're
trying to give
making
him
it out
time
to
to get
be.
back. Yeah,
Yeah, but oh man, it was great, and AJ being comic relief, like it just feels right, and
right.
it feels good, and
Yeah,
I'm happy that we are gonna get this. We're getting this match at
yeah.
SummerSlam, and it I'm intrigued by it. But either way, see what your thoughts on the segment. I know you probably didn't watch this one, but man, it was good. It was a good backstage segment.
Man, like just based on what you explained, I can just only imagine it. Especially after like the last comical segment that they had, uh, where 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 Dom brought out the doctor's note and he showed AJ, and he told AJ like, "Yeah, put your little glasses on," and then AJ snatched it and like, "Give me this." And then he puts his glasses on, and the crowd just started laughing in the background. And just the glasses AJ had on, just like, oh man, yeah, you can tell this is a family man right here, bro. Man had to put on his reading glasses. I was like, this is hilarious. But yeah, I like this is the route AJ is going, man. You know, he's just chilling, and I know he signed this 1 year extension, so I think he's pretty much on the way out. But I think he's trying to have fun on his way out, not doing anything too um too taxing on his body. Obviously I don't think we're gonna see him in the world title picture again, at least not with WWE. And so I think, winning the Intercontinental Championship will be something that he can focus on as his career comes to an end, at least with WWE. So Dom, he can also teach Dom a lot too, and this is going to benefit. So I'm happy with all of the people, with all the legends that Dom has worked with, since he's, become a full-time wrestler. And so he's ventured out of, being around his dad. And so he's learning constantly from legends, and other veterans of the business. So this is another one. And so I can't wait to see what they do in the ring 1-on-1. So
All right, now we get to our main event, which is the Gauntlet match, determining who will face Gunther at SummerSlam. Gunther was up in a suite in the arena watching on. Started out with Braun Breaker being the first person out. Penta would then follow. And so we've seen this match already a couple of times, and both of these guys deliver when they're out there. Nice back and forth pace, but it was eventually Braun Breaker who did a spear out of mid-air on Penta for the pin. Penta eliminated. Then we get to LA Knight, who this one was a lot different than Penta's matchup for Braun Breaker. This one was more of a tactical matchup to where both men were targeting injured areas of the body. But at the end of the day, LA Knight's midsection injury was a little too much for him to overcome. Breaker hit a spear, and then 1, 2, 3, LA Knight was eliminated. So Braun Breaker 2-0. He then faces Jey Uso, and Uso, you could see Breaker starting to kind of no pun intended, breakdown from the effects of the Gauntlet match, and Jay was taking advantage of it, and he hit a spear and then went up for the Uso splash, only for Big Bronson Reed to come out and interfere with the match. No disqualification in a Gauntlet match, so this set up another spear, but a very weak looking spear, I wanted to add, from Braun Breaker, and Jey Uso was eliminated. So finally, here comes CM Punk, and he was out with a flurry. He just was pounding on Breaker. Breaker obviously been in the ring for over 35 minutes. He was actually getting water bottles from Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed throughout the Gauntlet match, which I thought was a very nice touch to it. Then either way, we get to the culmination part. Bronson Reed is about to take out CM Punk from the top rope, and Punk fights him off. And then, right as CM Punk is getting hit from Bronson Reed again, Jey Uso's music hits, and he comes out, despite being eliminated, hit not only Bronson Reed, but he also hit Breaker for a spear, and then Punk went up and hit his GTS for the win, and it'll be CM Punk versus Gunther. However, that's not even the biggest moment of the night. After the match, CM Punk was getting beat down. Jay was trying to hold off. Both Reed and Breaker were too much. They lined both of them up for a double tsunami. And right as Bronson Reed was about to get on top, the OTC returns and makes the save. He Superman punches Reed, Superman punches Breaker, and then hits Bronson Reed with another spear. Also hits him with a Samoan drop, which was really impressive. And that was that. He helps Jey Uso up. They share a sign of nod of like, hey, it's good to see you again. CM Punk is over in the corner holding his hand out, telling Reigns, like, aren't you going to help me? Like, are you still... And Reigns just kind of ignoring CM Punk, but then he looks straight at Paul Heyman and goes, you're going to pay for what you did. And then Paul Heyman, with his great facial reactions, stole the end of the segment. But it is clear that Roman Reigns is out for revenge now. And it is starting, and it is all pointing back to Paul Heyman. So that was the end of the show. A great way to cap off Monday Night Raw, especially on the heels of a great PLE-like Evolution and kind of a lackluster show in Saturday night's main event. So a good bounce back, two solid bounce back shows for WWE. I give it a solid A- for tonight. See, what are your final thoughts?
Solid show based on what we discussed. This is like always enjoy like the aftermath of like pay-per-views or PLEs now. Just to see how everything is going to play out leading into the next big pay-per-view. As we all know, SummerSlam, the first year in which is going to be 2 nights in New Jersey. And so we seeing, the return of all the big heavy hitters. We got Cody versus Cena. 2. We got Punk versus Gunther. And then we got, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the tag team match. Jay and Roman versus Reed and Breaker. Like I said, I don't know what the update is on Punk. We'll find that out later on. But not Punk, Rollins. We'll find out what's going on with him. We got Jay versus Tiffany. We got Becky versus Lyra 3. We're gonna have there's a lot of other matches that we got coming up. So I think this is gonna be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, SummerSlam in history. Yeah, we'll see how everything plays out. But I give tonight a solid A. I didn't see anything wrong. Honestly, also, yeah, AJ Styles versus, Dominic Mysterio. And then we're going to have the tag team championships, both tag team championships on the line, I'm sure. I know that I saw that the Wyatt Six finally won the championships from the Street Profits. I imagine there's going to be a rematch there. And then obviously the Judgment Day versus whoever else they're going to face down the line. So yeah, we in store for a huge SummerSlam, man. So I can't wait. But yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like they're learning from the mistakes of the WrestleMania buildup, because the WrestleMania buildup this year was not as strong as it could have been. And even with just how short a time they have building up, they got 2.5 weeks pretty much to get this ready to go. And I'm already more invested than I was with the WrestleMania card. So you can definitely see they're learning their lesson and adapting. And I appreciate that. When you adapt, you survive. And that's all it is. Adapt and survive, learn from your mistakes, and just keep moving forward. We saw that with AEW at All In. They learned from some of their mistakes in storytelling. They moved forward and delivered a great pay-per-view Saturday night. And then WWE hit two solid shows with Evolution and Monday Night Raw. But that is going to wrap it up here for another edition of Monday Night Raw, Dog. For Big Daddy C, I am Coach. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to all of our content here at the WeBook It podcast, and we will see you next Monday for another edition of Monday Night Raw, Dog.
Peace.